Sacred Tales, it's time to face the truth. Lust comes with a price. But for you, the chosen ones, the stakes are even higher. What you're about to hear might sting, but trust me, it's something every spiritual warrior needs to know. Have you ever felt drawn to something or someone that you knew was bad for your soul, yet you couldn't seem to resist? Why does temptation always seem to knock on the doors of the chosen ones? Imagine this, a powerful individual, wise beyond years, walking in their purpose, only to be distracted by a fleeting desire. At first it seems harmless, a little indulgence here and there, but before they know it, their entire life is shifting. What they once held sacred begins to crumble, all because of one little thing, lust. A whisper in the night, a longing in the heart, and suddenly they are entangled in a web they can't escape. That person, sacred and pure, is you. But here's the reality, Sacred Tales, lust will always cost you. The question is, are you ready to pay the price? Stick with me because I'm about to reveal the 8 prices of lust that every chosen one must face. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single word. Chosen ones, don't leave just yet. This video will equip you with the wisdom to rise above these temptations and protect your spiritual journey. Watch till the end to stay awake and be empowered. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world. 1 John 2:16. Point 1, loss of peace. Chosen ones, let's take a moment to reflect on a truth many of you are familiar with. The first price of lust is the loss of your peace. Lust isn't just about physical desire, it's an energy, an overpowering force that infiltrates your mind and soul. It clouds your thoughts, distorts your perception, and leaves you feeling spiritually drained. At first it might feel exciting, but soon you'll find that what seemed like a fleeting thrill gradually takes away your serenity. Your mind, once clear and focused, becomes entangled in endless cravings, doubts, and confusion. The peace you once had, that divine calmness that connected you with your higher purpose, is replaced with a restless yearning. Your spirit, once in harmony, is now in turmoil, struggling to regain balance. Imagine it like being caught in the middle of a storm with the winds howling around you, pushing you in every direction, while those around you seem to be sailing smoothly on calm waters. It's a disorienting, exhausting feeling. You long for the stillness you once had, but the further you drift into lust, the harder it becomes to find your way back to peace. This is the price that's often overlooked, the toll lust takes on your spirit. It's not just about the immediate indulgence, but about the spiritual exhaustion that lingers long after. Lust binds you to desires that are fleeting and superficial, while your deeper, more meaningful connections get neglected. And when you're spiritually exhausted, it becomes harder to connect with your true self, with God, or with the purpose you were called to fulfill. But there's hope, chosen ones. The first step is recognizing the storm for what it is. By acknowledging how lust robs you of your inner peace, you can begin to take the necessary steps to reclaim it. Focus on nurturing your soul, realigning with your true purpose, and allowing God to help you heal. The peace that once seemed distant will return, stronger and more grounded than ever. Remember, true peace comes not from external indulgences, but from the divine calmness that resides within you. Reclaim it and watch how your journey transforms. Point 2, compromised integrity. Lust is a powerful force. It creeps into our lives quietly, often disguised as attraction, desire, or fleeting excitement. But beneath the surface, it carries with it a dangerous price, the loss of integrity. Integrity is the foundation of who we are, the bedrock of our values, beliefs, and self-respect. Once lust begins to take hold, however, it begins to erode that foundation, leaving you vulnerable to compromise. When temptation strikes, it's easy to justify actions that go against your values. Just this once, you might tell yourself, or it's not a big deal. These small justifications often snowball into larger moral compromises. The moment you begin bending your rules, even if it seems harmless, you open the door to further compromise. What starts as a simple concession of integrity can quickly escalate into a pattern, and before you know it, you've sacrificed pieces of yourself to satisfy a fleeting desire. It's like wearing a mask that slowly becomes more comfortable, more familiar. At first, you might catch a glimpse of who you used to be, the pure soul untainted by temptation. But over time, the mask starts to feel like your true face. You lose sight of your authentic self and begin to accept behavior that you once would have rejected. Lust convinces you that it's worth it, that the momentary satisfaction is worth the cost. But the price, as you may eventually realize, is far too high. The loss of integrity is more than just a spiritual setback. It's a deep personal betrayal of everything that once defined you. Integrity isn't something you can simply regain once it's lost. Each compromise leaves a mark, a small fracture in your soul, until one day you may no longer recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. Lust doesn't care about the consequences. It doesn't care that you're willing to risk everything for a momentary indulgence. The consequences, however, are inevitable, and they're often much more costly than you ever imagined. So remember this, sacred tales. Lust is seductive, but it's a dangerous game to play. Don't allow temptation to dictate your decisions. Protect your integrity fiercely, for once you lose it, you lose a part of yourself that's incredibly hard to get back. Point 3. Isolation from God. As a chosen one, there is a unique journey that comes with your purpose, one that sometimes involves intense challenges. One of the hardest trials you may face is the feeling of isolation from God, especially when you find yourself trapped in the cycle of lust. Lust has a deceptive power. It doesn't just affect your physical body, it messes with your spirit and your connection to your divine source. You may start to feel as though you've done something so terrible that you've broken the sacred bond between you and God. That feeling of unworthiness creeps in, making you believe that God cannot possibly be close to someone like you. This is where lust becomes a tool of the enemy, trying to sow seeds of doubt, guilt, and shame in your heart. But Sacred Tales, let me remind you of something crucial. God's love is unwavering, no matter where you are or what you've done. Even in your darkest moments, His presence is with you, ready to embrace you again, even if you feel distant. Lust may cloud your judgment and trick your mind into thinking you're beyond redemption, but that is simply not the truth. The divine connection that you have with Source can never truly be severed. It may feel distant, but the power to restore that connection lies within you. God is not a God who abandons His chosen. In fact, He uses these moments of struggle to teach you deeper lessons, to help you grow stronger in your faith, and to rediscover the true power of His love. The key is recognizing the lie that lust tells you, that you are broken beyond repair, and rejecting it. You are not your mistakes, and your worth is not defined by your struggles. You have the ability to rise above them and restore your connection with God. When you feel lost or disconnected, take a step back, breathe, and remember that you are worthy of God's love and grace. The beauty of your journey is that even in those moments of weakness, God's love never wavers. So, don't let the lies of lust convince you that you're too far gone. You can always return stronger and more connected than ever. Keep your faith, for you are never alone in your journey. Point 4. The damage to your spiritual energy. Lust, often seen as a temporary source of pleasure, is more than just a fleeting desire. It is a subtle and dangerous force that drains your spiritual energy. Many people don't realize how much it can deplete their essence, leaving them spiritually bankrupt. When you give in to lust, it's as if you're surrendering pieces of your soul, offering your vitality to a deep, endless pit that never fills. At the moment, it may feel like you've found satisfaction or joy, but that feeling is short-lived. Masking a deeper truth, something precious within you is being drained. Each time you indulge in lustful desires, it doesn't just affect your physical body. It takes a toll on your emotional and mental state as well. This constant depletion ties you to fleeting pleasures, diverting your attention from your higher purpose. Instead of building toward fulfillment, you find yourself caught in a cycle of emptiness. The more you give, the less you feel. Eventually, you reach a point where you wonder why, after each indulgence, you still feel drained and unfulfilled, as though the joy you sought slipped away the moment it arrived. As you become spiritually depleted, it becomes harder to hear the quiet, guiding voice of God, and more difficult to stay aligned with your divine path. Your soul is yearning for something deeper, something that offers lasting fulfillment, but in the search for satisfaction, you often look in the wrong places. The more you chase after transient pleasures, the further you drift from your spiritual center. But there is hope. Once you recognize the toll lust takes on your spiritual energy, you can begin to heal. True fulfillment doesn't come from instant gratification. It comes from spiritual alignment and authentic, meaningful connections. When you stop pouring your energy into the void of lust, you begin to replenish your soul. You rediscover the peace, purpose, and guidance that come from being in tune with your higher self, reconnecting with the divine path meant for you. Point 5. Broken relationships. Lust is often portrayed as an uncontrollable urge or a fleeting desire, but its impact can be far more profound and damaging, especially in relationships. When you're consumed by lust, your emotional energy is often diverted away from the meaningful connections you've built over time. This diversion creates a void in your relationships, leaving your loved ones feeling neglected, unimportant, or unloved. The people closest to you, whether friends, family, or a romantic partner, begin to notice your increasing distance, both physically and emotionally. Conversations become shallow, time spent together feels hollow, and you start prioritizing personal gratification over the well-being of those you care about. The consequences of lust in relationships extend beyond just being distracted. Lust has the power to erode trust, which is the foundation of any healthy bond. When someone realizes that they are no longer a priority, or worse, that they've been betrayed by the very person they trusted, the emotional damage can be profound. The hurt caused by infidelity, secrecy, or neglect can linger long after the lustful desires have subsided. Trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild, and the scars left on the relationship may last for years, often leading to irreversible damage. It's important to recognize that the people who love you the most are often the ones who suffer the most from your choices. They're the ones who bear the emotional toll when your desires take precedence over their needs. The cost of this is immeasurable. Deep emotional wounds that take time and sometimes a lifetime to heal. In the end, choosing lust over the people who care for you can destroy the very relationships that give your life meaning. Point 6. Emotional chaos. Emotionally, lust is like riding a wild roller coaster, one that promises an intense thrill, but leaves you drained and seeking more. At first, the rush of lust feels exhilarating, like an intoxicating wave that sweeps you up in passion and desire. But as with any high, the crash is inevitable. After the initial satisfaction fades, what remains is an overwhelming sense of emptiness. You might find yourself caught in a cycle of emotional highs and lows, where one moment you're euphoric, and the next, you're drowning in loneliness, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. This roller coaster doesn't stop either. The thrill of lust is fleeting, and so you constantly find yourself chasing that next hit, hoping it will fill the void. But here's the problem. No matter how many times you ride it, the emptiness never truly goes away. It's like trying to fill a bucket with holes. No matter how much you pour in, it always leaks out, leaving you feeling more empty than before. Over time, this emotional chaos becomes overwhelming. Lust disrupts your emotional stability, making it harder to find peace or contentment. The more you indulge in it, the less grounded you feel, until eventually your emotions become unpredictable and unstable. Instead of feeling fulfilled, you're left yearning for something deeper, something that can provide lasting satisfaction and emotional balance. Without that balance, lust leads to emotional exhaustion. It drains your energy, leaving you feeling not just physically depleted, but spiritually and mentally worn out as well. This cycle can be hard to break, but recognizing the damage lust does to your emotional health is the first step toward finding the stability and genuine connection you crave. Point 7. The fog of deception. Lust has a way of clouding judgment, creating a fog that distorts reality and leads to poor decisions. When you're caught in the grip of lust, everything becomes blurred. You start prioritizing temporary pleasure over long-term peace of mind, convincing yourself that the fleeting moments of satisfaction are worth the chaos that follows. The promises lust makes are seductive. It tells you that it's harmless, that you can indulge without consequence, and that you can always stop whenever you want. This is the most dangerous lie it sells, because once you give in, it becomes harder and harder to break free. The fog of lust causes you to overlook the warning signs, to ignore your better judgment, and to dismiss the long-term impact it has on your well-being. What's worse is that lust doesn't just affect your relationships with others, it clouds your spiritual connection as well. You begin to value your immediate desires above your own spiritual health, distracting you from the bigger picture of personal growth, inner peace, and purpose. In the moment, it feels like you're in control, but in reality, lust has taken the wheel. And the longer you stay in that fog, the harder it becomes to find your way back to clarity. The real danger of lust is its ability to blind you to the truth. It distorts your values, makes you forget what truly matters, and distracts you from your higher calling. Once you succumb to the illusion, it's tough to see the path forward. The fog is thick, and breaking free requires conscious effort and a return to self-awareness and spiritual alignment. Point 8. Loss of your true purpose. Lust is a powerful force, but its ultimate price is often hidden from view, the loss of your true purpose. When we give in to lust, we allow ourselves to be pulled away from the divine mission that was set before us. Lust is a distraction, a temporary fix to a deeper yearning, yet it shifts our focus from the things that truly matter. Instead of pouring energy into fulfilling our calling, we invest in fleeting desires that leave us empty and unfulfilled. Over time, this pattern erodes the clarity of our spiritual journey as we chase after satisfaction that never seems to last. You, Sacred Tales, are destined for greatness, and the path laid out for you is far more profound than any temporary thrill. When you're consumed by lust, it's as if you've put blinders on, ignoring the signs that point to your higher purpose. Instead of seeing the bigger picture, the unique gifts you have to offer the world, lust clouds your vision, keeping you locked in a cycle of desire that only leads to more confusion and emptiness. The longer you stay on this path, the further you stray from the life you were meant to lead. You start to lose sight of your goals, your spiritual connection, and even your true self. And this is where the danger lies. You end up chasing things that don't resonate with your soul's deepest calling. The journey to reclaim your purpose involves stepping out of that cycle and rediscovering the strength and clarity that lies within you. Remember, the price of lust is far too high when compared to the immense rewards of living a life aligned with your true purpose. Chosen ones, the price of lust is steep. It robs you of your peace, your integrity, your spiritual connection, and your true purpose. But don't lose hope. Every price you pay is an opportunity for growth. If you've fallen, get back up. If you've been distracted, realign yourself with your higher calling. You are stronger than you think. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Matthew 5:8. Chosen ones, if this video helped you reflect on your spiritual journey, leave a star emoji in the comments to let me know you're committed to staying on your divine path. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear this message. Keep shining, keep evolving, and remember, you are a chosen one, destined for greatness. Until next time, Sacred Tales.